Join us this week as we head to Healey's Cornish Cyder Farm to check out their new visitor centre and find out if the Cyder Master Pass is a good deal. But before that, we're making a stylish entrance back into Padstow on the Padstow speedboat, and just look at the glorious sunshine. I'm starting to get on first name terms now with the speedboat man in Padstow, and happily so. Pretty sure his name is Dave or Steve. £10 for a blast around the harbour and Camel Estuary is pretty good in Cornish boat trip terms. And I've even discovered a few locals come weekly, so maybe I should fit myself firmly into that category. I think Padstow is somewhere in North Cornwall you're either going to love or hate, but on a day like today it's marvellous and very Cornish indeed. It does get very busy in the summer, and it also has an amazing food scene, thanks to a certain well-known Cornish celebrity chef. Aside from boat trips, people watching, dining at Michelin star restaurants and harbourside inns, there's plenty to keep you busy in Padstow. There are also some great beaches nearby, like Harlyn Bay, which looks and feels like we're in the Mediterranean today. Considered one of the best family beaches in Cornwall, Harlyn Bay is a wide, sheltered and spacious beach of golden sand and pebbles, a small stream and plenty of fascinating rock pools to explore. Harlyn Bay is backed by dunes and situated on the eastern side of Truro Head, just west of Padstow, and it's only a few minutes away by car. Anyway, let's get into the video and head over to the cider farm. So guys, we are here at the cider farm, Healey's of course, and if you've ever had any cider down in Cornwall, chances are these guys have probably made some of it. They're really famous actually for the rattler cider, and you'll find that all across pubs in Cornwall and also in quite a few supermarkets around the UK as well. It's a very popular cider, lots of different flavours, but the rattler original is the one that you tend to see out and about. There's also some other flavours now that are on draft in pubs, but the original is the one to try. Now, I don't know about you, but if you've ever been on a holiday to Cornwall or you live down here, you probably will have at some point been to Healey's Cider Farm. It's been here for ages, and I remember many a holiday in Cornwall where we'd come down here on like a wet day or a day we just didn't want to go to the beach, and it used to have a restaurant, a little bar and a shop and some farm animals, and you could go around and see the cider being made. Well, now they've got this massive visitor centre behind me here and all kinds of different activities that you can do on a ticketed basis. So you can still come down for free and go to the restaurant, visit the farm animals and walk around what used to be the visitor attraction. But now there's a big visitor centre as well, and they offer all kinds of different tickets that you can book: tractor tours, guided tours of the factory, or you can just get a Cyder Master Pass and walk around and have a look at everything. We'll go into all the pricing and the different options of the tickets, but it's gone very much like any other Cornish attraction where it's a 12-month ticket. So if you buy a ticket to do the Cyder Master Pass, for example, if you buy that ticket and do the self-guided tour around the visitor centre, you can come back anytime within 12 months for free and experience it again. Now, maybe that's not so useful if you're just on holiday here and maybe you're not planning to come back to Cornwall, but if you live here, like me, you can come back as much as you want and you don't have to pay anything else, which is fantastic. And also, if you book the tickets online, they're 20% off what you'd pay here. So for £13, the Cyder Master Pass currently online with a 20% discount. This is probably my sixth time of coming. So actually, for 13 quid, that's not bad. As I said, we'll get into the pricing in a minute. Let me show you around Healey's Cornish Cyder Farm. Welcome to cider paradise for all you cider lovers out there. You sometimes see these rattler jeeps around Cornwall, so if you spot one, snap a pic, and even better, try and get the keys for me. Just a quick bit about pricing. As you can see, it's cheaper online and you can book these on the day as well. It's always really well kept here at Healey's, and the visitor centre and new shop are stunning. You can also just turn up to buy cider and cider related products like some of the amazing sauces. Rattler ketchup and the barbecue sauce are great with grilled meats and especially with burgers. Wonder how much the Rattler VW camper is. No surprise then that Healey's is the largest independent cider producer in Cornwall, and they planted their first trees in 1986. Healey's is very much still family owned and Cornish born and bred. The whole new setup here is very impressive and seems really well planned to help you get the most out of your ticket price. And as I said earlier, you can still come down with no ticket, explore the shop, restaurant and little farm. So it's worth a stop off if you just wanted to spend an hour or two here at the farm. So just checked in, got my little guide, basically tells you where you need to go, and I've got my wristband. So I'm just going to have a little walk around now and look at the bottling plant. If you come during the week, the bottling plant is open, and you can essentially see them making the cider, bottling it up, then putting it in the cases that go to the supermarket, the shops, and all the different pubs. It's actually really interesting, and definitely something it's good to see. Super clean and tidy in here, and it's quite amazing how fast they can pack a pallet of rattler. Sunshine, soil and the fresh Atlantic breeze make the apple trees tall and fantastically fruitful. Scattered with over 3,000 trees, the leafy orchards here are home to 7 varieties of traditional Cornish native apples. They leave it to the wind to pluck the apples from their branches so that the fruit in Healey's ciders and juices is naturally ripe. Each year, about 2,000 tonnes of apples are sorted, milled and pressed right here on the farm. That's a lot of apples. I tell you what though, it's really hot in Cornwall today, and it is seriously hot in here. Don't think I'd like to be working on the bottling plant today. Blimey. Whether it's the KT, a sweet succulent dessert apple used in Healey's refreshing apple juice, or the Ashton bitter with its sharp green twang that adds an extra something to the ciders. It must have been over 30 degrees in here today, but still the cider making was going strong. I'm moving on now to the learning area, where you can find out a little bit more about Cornish cider making. And do I spy a bit of Cornish scrumpy? You have probably all seen this bottle in shops around Cornwall. The logo and design always makes me smile. Did you know 21 degrees is the ideal temperature for the yeast to work its magic, turning sugar into alcohol? And on that note, anyone for a pint of rattler? Oh, blimey, it is hot in here. So I'm just sat down now on these little benches behind me here, which is where they do like a little free education piece that they talk to you about how the apples are grown, how they arrive here, how they go through the whole, I don't know how to describe it, the whole system, right the way through from the apple to the bottle of cider that goes to your pub or supermarket. It's actually really interesting, and the way they've kind of done the building here, it's really modern, it's nice, it's clean. It's a really good experience, I think, and something that everyone should come and try if you want to learn a bit more about Cornish cider. So on to the next part, which is down a staircase built into a large cider vat. Interesting idea. We're going to take a look at some of the cars here now, which I admit is odd. However, Austin Healey was a British car manufacturer, and the second name Healey? These cars were built by Donald Healey Motor Company. The Healey family here at the cider farm are direct descendants of the great Donald Healey. So now you know. We're about to get a sneak peek at some of the cider vats now as well, and they are impressively large. Now behind me here are all the tanks that store the cider. 2.1 million pints in these tanks behind me here, and over 1 kilometre of pipework, which is crazy, and that is a lot of cider. That is indeed a lot of cider, but as these guys sell into supermarkets and the like, I guess they need it. Just saying hello to the peacock, there's a few of them roaming wild on the farm, so look out for them. So we're just heading down now into what used to be the old shop and restaurant, and where you used to be able to come for free. You can still come for free to this bit. I've heard they do a rather nice cheese scone with Davidstow cheddar, Cornish of course, and some lovely pickle made with a rattler, so we'll give it a go. And so onwards to the old bottery restaurant, which you can just turn up to. This is on the older part of the farm, and I'm pretty sure used to be the old bottlery. It's really nice in here and fairly informal and unfussy. They focus on local Cornish produce, which is really good, all served with an added dash of Healey's charm. So this is the Healey's take on a cream tea, but with cheese. And obviously today it's too hot for tea, so I've got a lovely little Healey's apple juice, which is beautiful actually, and you'd expect it to be, seeing as that they deal with apples here. We've got some cheese scones, some lovely Davidstow cheddar, and then some Cornish Cyder farm sort of relish, so infused with that beautiful apple flavour. Looks good, look at those scones. Ooh, yes. First off, can't beat a bit of Davidstow cheddar. Beautiful. And even Truro dairy butter, which is Cornish butter of course. So we'll give these scones a little try. Did you say scone or scone? Beautiful scones, really fruity kind of pickle or relish. It's very nice, and the Davidstow cheddar tops it all off. One to try if you're down at the Cyder Farm. And as I said, you can come to the restaurant for free. You don't have to have the wristband. You can just walk straight down. They've got a few dishes on the menu here. It's not a big menu, but it's all very local to the Cyder Farm, which is fantastic to see them using local Cornish produce in the food. I really wanted the pygmy goat to jump up and down on the trampoline for this shot, but he just was not up for it. So I'm currently inside the museum, cellar and distillery walkthrough. Basically, again, you need a wristband to get into this bit, but you can walk through and experience how they used to make cider, and there's loads of really funny videos. Whoever made them, hilarious and very Cornish, and they tell you a bit more about how cider making used to be. So this part is really interesting if you like history and or cider. It goes back in time to the original cider press and shows you how it has progressed since then. The museum is paired with very well done short videos to help keep the younger ones engaged. The making cider with lead bit is particularly intriguing, but that didn't seem to last very long after everyone died. After a short walk through the old barrel cellar, it's off to the bar, where you can sample any of the products Healey's make, including all of the spirits. A really good touch if you want to try before you buy, or just sample something you wouldn't normally have. You can then go and pour your own pint of rattler at half price to test out those pint pouring skills, and they have a nice garden to enjoy the aforementioned pints, or if you prefer, you can sit in the bar if it's raining or cold. There is also a small farm here at Healey's which is free entry and no wristband required. All the animals are very friendly and well kept, presumably as they get a lot of visitors. And there are some sinks on the way out to wash your hands if you'd like to get up close and personal. The shy horses, chickens, pygmy goats, pigs, donkeys and peacocks are all waiting to meet you. So now it's time for my favourite bit, the vintage tractor ride. You can get this included in your pass or you can add it on. I think it's about £6. Beautiful tractor behind me here, and we're going to go around all the orchards and see how the apples are grown and a bit more information about the farm. So let's go. I have to say I love a good tractor ride, and this is one of my favourite parts. £6 for an adult as an add-on, but they are open to doing you a deal for a family, and you can book it online beforehand for less. Very much a vintage tractor we have here, which adds to the charm of this little ride. A 1950s Fordson Mader tractor, nonetheless. Amble down the valley to the leafy orchards that lie beneath the farm during your tractor ride. Audio will play to your whole group, giving you an insight into how the Cornish do apple growing. I've removed this as I don't want to spoil the fun for you, but it's both informative and somewhat fun. It's really great just ambling through the orchards, looking at the apples and the trees and thinking about how all of these make it into the cider that we drink most weeks. If you're coming with kids, I'm sure they will love this bit as well, or if you're a big kid like me, then I'd highly recommend it. My top tips to maximise your experience here at Healey's would be to book online, use the bundle discounts and add the tractor ride. If you want a detailed tour of the whole farm, then book onto the guided tour. But either way, it's a great day out in Cornwall, and I'd certainly recommend it as something a little different. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that visit and little tour of Healey's Cider Farm. If you're in Cornwall, whether it's raining or not, gloriously sunny like today, come down and give it a try. I think it's good value for money, and you can come back anytime within 12 months with the Cyder Master Pass, which, if you're local, is fantastic. And as always guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.